outside, brought to you by nature. Hope you enjoy it. A lot of you people are in buildings most of the day, so I figured I'd give you some outside um, visibility. And also, later on today, I'll make another video, go live, and we'll get the inside, at the desk. Maybe a panoramic real quick. Day, too long. You know how this goes. The time to let people get in here. Talk about the Kundalini awakening. Um, this can be triggered again multiple ways, um, or or empathetic or an empath, and then you have some extreme situation happen. It can catapult you through it. And listen, I'm talking over the symptoms of it and whatnot. I was going through all that stuff. You see that? I mean, I didn't really need the confirmation, but it's good to see that it's something that happens to certain people, select people that have reached a certain level of enlightenment and have found a way to, and you can have multiple Kundalini awakenings, right? You know what I'm saying? There's bigger ones and whatnot, but it's really just about spiritual enlightenment and, you know, the Kundalini energy that spiraled, what I'm saying, up at the base of your spine. And it's just that energy rising from the base of your spine, going up through your spine, each vertebrae, activating your chakras as it goes up. And if there's any clogged, chakras or whatever, then it will. That's where I guess to get the idea of the cord cutting, where it's not really cord cutting, it's really just releasing. That's what it does. It pushes out and releases any blockages. And while it's doing that, you could have cramping. You can have symptoms of being sick, hot and cold. Um, at the same time, you can feel like, because your ears are, everything is heightening itself. So you could feel your ears heightening. You can feel like your paranoia a little bit, where you need to, the best thing to do is, it even says, most of these people, they go into isolation while they're going through it, just so they can clear their head properly, because it's almost impossible to go through this if you're not in isolation. Like, I don't know how anyone outside of the people that are going through it, that have triggered it on purpose, being in isolation. You have to have the time to yourself to figure things out about what's going on with your body and your head, right? And if you don't have that, then you're just kind of, leaving yourself susceptible to whatever everybody else thinks what's going on with you. And to them, human nature, they're going to assume the worst. You're going through a spiritual awakening where you're pretty much merging your higher self, with your 3D self. But from the outside looking in, when people don't have good intentions, what I'm saying, it could look some other kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And they can make that assumption and use that assumption as a base to cause problems in your life, or run away and cheat, or whatever they want to do, right? A real partner or friend or family member would, try to figure out what's going on with you without making assumptions, because those people that make assumptions, are family members that don't really care for you too much, because while they're watching you go through this stuff, they're making assumptions and they're not telling you, and they're talking about you. To see you prior to all this going on probably was pretty decent, making money on top of your game, and then whatever happened that triggered, this Kundalini awakening, relationship, business goes under, whatever the case may be, right? You know, then while you're going through it, they're assuming the worst, not knowing anything. All that it is for level of consciousness that you're about to take in, where you see things as they should be and not as they are. By thing, just memorizing certain, you know, jargon that they picked up on the internet or social media, certain phrases, certain things they can string together to make it seem like they know what they're talking about, knowing doggone well they don't know what they're talking about, and most of them don't have an iota of brain in their head. What is that? Now, I'm just going to keep saying this. Going, hear me out. Guys want to continue to dust up that cat. You've become attached to it. But listen, I'm telling you, it does nothing but cause more confusion while you're already trying to figure things out. I mean, you're already trying to have a spiritual awakening, and how are you going to have that going on while you're out here dating? Now, if you're married or whatever, but she should be understanding while you're going through this and be supportive. Ladies, same thing. If you're having a spiritual awakening, you're with a guy and he's just trying to bottom out, it's like, well, it doesn't seem like you really care about you too much. It seems like you're just trying to get them guts. So I think you need to reevaluate things. You know what I'm saying? When I was going through mine, that's all that my ex was doing, was just trying to get me to you know, getting them guts. And I'm just like, this is, because when you're going through it, you're not thinking about stuff like that. You have all kind of stuff going on. And if you try to tell them anything, they just try to play like you're going crazy or whatever. And then, try to use that as their excuse to go cheat and all this other kind of crazy stuff. Going through this, if you know that the person that you're with, because I'm telling you, while you're going through the awakening, you're not going to care if whoever you're with is not really down for you and they want to leave. You're going to want to get rid of them anyway. You don't want anything around you that's going to take you out the right state of mind. Your state of mind is figuring out what's going on with you and trying to get a good balance to it. And, if you catch on to it and find out you're going through an awakening, a Kundalini awakening or spiritual awakening, looking up what it is, they recommend you being by yourself anyway. I just didn't need anyone to tell me. I just know when you're going through it. Actually, you don't need anyone to tell you anything. God leads you. As long as you listen to God, you know what I'm saying. Your higher self that you've connected with deeply. At this point, you're just gonna be fine. So you don't need anybody telling you need to go this way or that way, or oh no, that ex isn't doing anything wrong. This is a misunderstanding. Well, let me tell you something. If anyone feels that you're of any kind of value, what they're not going to do is ghost you and disappear. There's too much and too much disappearing. That means you don't even care who that person's around in their immediate presence. So you don't really have any feelings. So, just remember that whenever you're thinking like, oh, no, that person doesn't care about you. Think about it. When you care about somebody, don't you want to know where they're at or what they're doing? Of course you do. When you don't care, you disappear, you're on to the next body, you're laying on them or laying underneath them, and you're kikiing, having a good time, what I'm saying, off the energy, the little bit of energy that you harvested. So it's just like, what I'm saying, people. Whenever they see you going through a spiritual awakening or anything, and they've known you to be a pretty rational person prior to this, and they're not trying to ask you any questions, just using it as a scapegoat, and then cast you off to the woods or whatever. The wolves, they shouldn't be surprised when you come back, the lone wolf. You know, and gentlemen, get into the meat and potatoes, the last half of the video, got to keep you interested. Hey, do me a favor. If you can hit that like button and subscribe. I see a lot of views are coming from unsubscribed, people, the higher percentage when I look at my analytics. And if you guys would subscribe, it would get my channel to spread through the algorithm, because YouTube uses it as a metrics, you know what I'm saying, to see if whatever you're putting out is worth spreading to a larger audience. So if you guys hit the like button, it shows YouTube, hey, this is some good content, and they'll spread me out to a wider pool. Appreciate it. That being said, let's keep it trucking. The semen retention is your superpower, and I went into great depth about the narcissist and all that stuff to let you know that if you're using semen retention, you know what I'm saying, and you're not like letting yourself get out there and it's releasing your seed, because I'm telling you, man, your semen, like the way that God, makes you, that is like the seed of life. If you're not just letting it and releasing it and giving it to whatever, and there's a lot to just giving it to whoever you're messing around with. We're not even thinking about it on a spiritual level. We're just out here doing what the Matrix tells us to do. Oh, just go out there and just spread your seed. And, man, you mess around and spread your seed to the wrong Jezebel, and you'll mess up your entire family line for the rest of your life, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be really careful. And even if you want to be kind of casual with, you still need to be casual with a woman that's worth being casual with, not just some scallywag that looks good. Let me tell you something. These narcissists, these narcissists, I can't get it out today. These narcissists, yeah, there we go. These narcissists, man, are out here slanging that thing everywhere and not taking care of themselves. They really aren't. They're out here too busy running around trying to keep all of their supply taken care of. They're not taking the time to eat properly. They're not taking the time to groom themselves properly. They're not taking the time to wash themselves properly all day long like they should be, right? Like when you're out here doing what you're supposed to be doing, we give our seed away, listen, it's a seed of life for a reason. If you're actually keeping that seed within you, you're working on, what I'm saying, trying to self-improve, 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up having a Kundalini awakening. And when that's happening, it's going to trigger a lot of different things. And whatever happens while you're, going through it, as long as you're not out here hurting anybody or completely losing it or something like that, and, you know what I'm saying, like not being able to function or something, it's a process. Once you get to the other side of the process, though, when it gets to completion or near completion, you have all these heightened abilities. Your body's upgraded, your mind is upgraded. You have a thirst for learning. But you also have the intuitive knowing of what to learn and what not to, which you kind of always have. But it's fine tuned to the point now where it's just chef's kiss. You're just like functioning at a higher octane to where you literally feel superhuman. I mean, you never run out of energy. You work out all day. You can't eat regular meat anymore. I mean, I'm telling you, like when you eat regular meat, you get sick feeling, you feel heavy, your stomach is, tossing and turning and twisting in knots. You know what I'm saying? You cannot eat meat like that no more. You definitely can't eat fast food. I mean, we all know that fast food is, we all know, right? And then on top of that, they say there's a lot of fecal matter because people aren't washing their hands. So you just can't eat that filth. So you spend most of the day eating fruit, and then when it's time for dinner or whatever, eating your vegetables and, a little bit of, what I'm saying, chicken and, that stuff isn't completely, we don't know if that's real anymore, but, what I'm saying? I mean, you eat a little bit of meat if you have to, if you're cooking something for your kids or whatever, but you keep it to a limit because otherwise it's a bad day, but you're just getting highly tuned in. You feel everything. You can kind of sense what's going on around you. If you have a young lady speaking to you, running game on you, you can sense it a mile away. They can't run game anymore. You're no longer working on a lower chakra where it's like, I'm trying to get to the, what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm trying to get to the P. I'm trying to, what I'm saying? Trying to see what she got going on down there. You're not worried about that like that no more. You know what? You're looking at it from a higher perspective. that it's not going to be nothing more great or different than any other, outside of the fact that it's attached to a woman that you either like or you kind of like or don't really know at all, right? So there's no point in jumping in and out. You've gotten plenty of experience doing so. You're just, giving into your, desires, you know what I'm saying, and want to be pleasured all the time. Then, you're operating out of your lower. You're not going to really be enlightened anyway. And this conversation is really for my enlightened beings out there, not the lower vibrational ones that's just trying to get out here and hook up. If you're out here trying to hook up and you know what the world is about, and you know that you can run into any kind of narcissistic or any kind of low vibrational type of person that has demons attached to them, then these kind of conversations really are not going to resonate with you. The ones that are out there, I'm not trying to tell people to be virgins again, but I'm saying to the ones that are more selective, that know what this is, and when you're being intimate with somebody, you can really be creating some really good, you know what I'm saying, not just energy through the act of orgasming, but you can create energy through, you know, the process of intercourse, and get charged up instead of depleted. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm taking this from what I know. When you have, you know what I'm saying, sex with someone, a nice young lady, and you feel drained afterwards, and like you got to go to sleep, and they're probably running their mouth the whole time, like, oh yeah, I'll be put you to bed. That's not what's supposed to happen. That energy vampire literally just sucked you dry. It's supposed to feel when with the right kind of lady, she's gonna charge you up. You know, the minute that's when they're around you, they're gonna charge you up. About that. We're not going to think that all of them are going to drain us dry. Listen, we went through, more than likely what triggered this Kundalini awakening was some kind of breakup or relationship or whatever. But you got to understand, we have our navigation adjusted right. Right. We weren't, our navigation wasn't set, you know, to, our navigation was set for the course, the highway, the fastest course to the destination. When we should have been taking the one that let's take back roads, takes a little longer to get there, but it's worth the wait. That kind of stuff. And I know you're thinking to yourself, King David, what's up, bro? Like, I got needs. No, you don't. No, you don't. Brother, I'm sure you got some stuff you need to do, some things you need to get caught up on, some businesses you need to create, or some kind of wealth for your children, and getting some finances taken care of, possibly fixing your credit, possibly getting into shape, possibly spending more time with your kids. There's more things to do because you have no idea how much time you spend chasing women. This is a fact. Between wardrobes, between texting them, heaven forbid if you're calling more than one, they want to be on the phone all night long, taking your time up, right? And then with them, checking up on your social medias, giving you random, text messages to have you questioning yourself without really saying anything, just to be put towards something productive. And once you get whatever you got going on, right, the women will come to you anyway. So why are we chasing? And there's more of them than us, and they're chasing and we're chasing. It's making this, what I'm saying, this traffic jam. Somebody's got to be the one to sit and receive, right? We don't need it. We need to be on our throne. They can go ahead and call it whatever energy they want to call it, but when you're a man that's sitting on your throne, they can call it feminine energy. I don't care what they call it. You know what I'm saying? I call it being royalty, and I'm not going to, get off of my throne at any point in time, you know, to go and chase women that are out there chasing men that don't even have it together. They're just, looking the part, right? The Pookies, Ray Rays, and the upscale ones also, the Bradys, you know what I'm saying, and the Brads, right? But they're still doing the same thing. They're just looking the part to get the woman, do what he wants to do, and then, get away before she realizes he's not worth the crap, you know? Um, Awakening, he's balanced. just talking and going off and allow my energy to kind of be. Nah, I'm in full Sigma mode right now, basking in my balanced energies. I'm a mystic, spiritual guru, and I know a lot of you people, not my Sigmas out there to support me, but I know some of you haters out there, right? Oh, why him? They don't need to be worried about why him. I am him. Hey, how's it going? They don't need to be worried about why him. I am him, okay? Now listen, all the greats deal with this. When Michael Jackson came out, they were saying things like, who do you think you are? James, about the legend. Own pioneers, and when the pioneers come out, no one is ready for it, and they always have something to say and something to go against what you're doing. 222 on my clock as I said that. 2222. So, and I'm just, to the point where I'm so enlightened. I know I came into this plane alone, and I'm going to leave this plane alone. Now, knowing that, am I going to spend my time and my existence here worrying about what others in their own realities, having their own lives, having their own experiences, having their own pleasurable moments? Why am I going to worry about what some person that I interact with and barely interact with their energy thinks? I'm not. Make me think about anything other than, making sure I maintain my, balanced, what I'm saying, masculine frame and keep it trucking. Listen, I could have had someone tell me months ago while I was going through this, you're more like a mystic, right? Like the things that you're saying, because I looked the mystic stuff up and the Kundalini awakening stuff up. I looked it up. I looked it up last night. Scratched my lip, my freaking nail. Man, you see that? I looked it up last night. The Son of God. I looked up last night and everything I've been talking about, the lone wolf, going in isolation. This is why some people thought that I was fake, man, because I'm saying the same stuff. I didn't look none of that stuff up. I was just going through a divorce, man. I was just like, and people were bothering me on the internet. But see, here's the thing. If they weren't gang stalking me on the internet, I wouldn't have gotten my message out. And see, now people can go back and be like, now this guy was talking about this when he just was coming out of a divorce being left. And people were gang stalking me, and I was talking about, I don't care what you think. How you perceive me is none of my business. You know what I'm saying? Your perception of me, what I'm saying, your perspective of me, after all your years of life experience and different people you've had relationships with that brought you to the point that you are now, has nothing to do with me, is none of my business. I've been saying this stuff for a while, right? And that's the kind of way that you move and navigate. And see, it's an energy to that. You don't have to always say it. There's an energy to moving like that, to where you'll run off all the wrong kind of women, all the wrong kind of haters, and most dudes are haters. I'm gonna be real with you, bruh, and I need for you to understand this. Most dudes are haters. You hear the crows confirmation. I love crows. Most dudes are haters. So you don't need to have a big group of males around you anyway. What male lion has a bunch of other lions around them? You know, are you the king of the jungle, or what I'm saying? Or are you like a herd of hyenas? Like, what's the deal? What's the deal? Right? Now, you can be a wolf, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not a lone wolf Sigma, and lone wolf Sigmas, we don't roll together. Nah, nah. You know what I'm saying? When a Sigma gets ready to need some backup from the wolf pack, we make a call. We don't be over here rolling around in a pack. I don't need no pack. We're not a bunch of dogs. Come on. I understand. Maybe a year's too long. You take yourself off about, I don't know, what do you think self improvement without dating is going to do to you? Think about it. Women don't, You think that 6 months of you sleeping around more is going to give you more value? Well, I mean, if you get like a great promotion at your job, and if the women that you're, doing whatever with, got clout, maybe, somewhat, sort of. Hey, what's going on? Maybe somewhat, sort of. But, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, not really. If you take some time off, get yourself together, you know what I mean? Do some healing. And I know y'all, oh, I'm a god. Man, stop being emotional, and I'm saying it to you like that because, if you think that being tough is ignoring what you're here to do, which you're on this plane to learn, and you think your job is to ignore all the different levels of emotion you go through, where do you think that buildup, what do you think that buildup's gonna do? It's going to manifest itself into a cancer or a tumor. Get yourself together, man. You know, you know, s- okay. You've been doing it your way, racking up women, and I know you feel like you're the man. But if you got a bunch of women, you got to run to one of them to have a good weekend. What kind of man are you? Kind of men like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Think about upgrading yourself because there's never been a woman to turn down a man who's in twice the position he was a year ago, meaning all the way around mental, fitness wise, spiritual. There's not been a woman to be like, nah, you took that year off. I don't know what you did it for, and I don't want nothing to do with you. No, they're going to be like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, "What's going on? Where you been? What you up to?" They gonna love that stuff, man. And then you tell them like, "Yeah, I took a year off, or 6 months, whatever. I've been celibate. Da, 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 da. You've been celibate? What? Yeah, girl, look at me. You know what I'm saying? What I look like? I took some time off, and I did some healing. Listen. No woman is gonna look if you've been doing the healing and you look good, like me, reflection, gonna think that you've been single for no reason. It's gonna have to be something, right? So you tell them like, look, I just got out of a relationship, long term, live together relationship or marriage. And listen, let me tell you something. Any woman with any sense that hears a guy say something like, "Yeah, I took some time," they're gonna be skeptical. They're gonna be like, sounds kind of sus. But when they do their investigation, especially if you're posting content or whatever, like me, that's why I got my airproof, airtight lullaby. You know what I'm saying? That's not even lullaby, it's supposed to be alibi. Sorry, y'all. I don't know why that popped up in my head. Somebody thinking about kids, I guess. I don't know. Or somebody wants to be, lullaby to bed. Maybe that neighbor just pulled in here, had them lullaby eyes. Listen, you fellas, I'm telling you right now, get your fitness game on. There's no woman that's going to kick you out of bed when you look like this. Get your fitness game on. Listen, I'm telling you right now, that's the first, that should be, I'm going to put a package together, a little pamphlet. That should be number one. Start doing crunches, lunges, and push ups as soon as you can and start getting yourself fit. That's the first thing that'll start getting yourself on the right alignment. Your body needs to be able to house your temple right. If you have any kind of Kundalini ascension, you're going to want, awakening. I mean, you're going to want to make sure that your frame can handle this new level of energy you're going to have going on. Because I'm telling you, man, you're charged up all day long. When I get a hold, because I'm ready to date now, so I'm gonna get me like a little girlfriend or something like that, something to be talking to. And when we finally get to that point, and we're in the bedroom, I'm telling you, I got some new stuff I want to try out. Like I've been on this celibacy thing for a year, and I'm gonna back up again. YouTube is garbage. What's going on? Good to see you too. YouTube is garbage. You know what I'm saying? Complete garbage. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're just doing upgrades or whatever. But this is like the second or third time I've had to restart this thing. It's very strange. But look, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day on that. So we have no more interruptions. But I'm gonna drop another video probably inside the house. I'm gonna get something to eat or whatever. Look, y'all. Remember, semen retention. The longer you hold out, the more women are going to find that attractive. It's never going to hurt you to hold out for a little while longer. And then think about it, right? You won't, you ain't been like pleasuring yourself, and you ain't been getting a hold to a woman. So when you get a hold to one, man, you're going to be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? You can be ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't going to be like desensitized to anything. You can be ready to go, man. So, not saying, I guess, whatever you do, ain't in your business. I'm just saying, right? So look, we'll be back on here a little bit later. Just remember, if you want to have a Kundalini um, awakening, and if you're going through one, just take some time off from all the sexual activity, and you'll be surprised at how smoother it goes, and how you can level up quicker, and how you'll be able to speak the spirit easier, right? More easy, what I mean, than just trying to be out there dating and being, in multiple relationships while these women are trying to play you more than you're trying to play them. It's a mess. So don't do it to yourself. But look, talk to y'all later. Peace, love, and light. You know what I mean?